Again, those of you willing and able to turn your cameras on would be very appreciated. All right. I call this meeting to order at 6:08 p.m. Roll call and verification of quorum, Chair Courts.
Okay, Lazo. Present. Ricetta.
Present.
Lessman.
Present.
Pirelli.
Present.
Christopher Levine.
Present.
Stephen Levine. Stephen Levine. Okay. Lim.
Present.
Morissette.
Present.
Kringle.
Present.
DeCara.
Is it there?
Yes.
Present.
Butler.
Present.
Connolly.
Present.
Marov. Hamid.
Present.
Kaufman.
Present.
Larson.
Present.
Memory. Shouldn't be here. Metellus.
Present.
Rose.
Present.
Hanun.
Present.
Barrios. Hall.
Present.
Atohaj.
Present.
Chauhan.
Present.
Naguib.
Present.
Wanjin. Johnson.
Present.
Tell.
Present.
Weiderberg.
Present.
Green.
Present.
Hendry.
Present.
Borges. Alcuda. Benesh. Condoloro.
Present.
Palazzo.
Present.
Ukes.
Present.
Jimenez Valero.
Present.
Hashimi.
Present.
Galbo.
Present.
Bowman.
Present.
Brenda.
Present.
Richmond.
Present.
Shen. Varilla.
Present.
Vasquez.
Present.
And Lipner.
Present.
Okay, 42 out of 50 quorum is verified.
All right. With that, approval of the minutes, everyone go ahead, take a look at last meeting's minutes, and is there a motion to approve last meeting's minutes? Varela.
Motion to approve last meeting minutes.
There's been a motion to approve last meeting's minutes. Are there any objections? Seeing none, last meeting's minutes are approved. Approval of the agenda. Everyone go ahead, take a look at this meeting's agenda, and is there a motion? Varela.
Motion to approve this meeting's agenda.
There's been a motion to approve this meeting's agenda. Are there any objections? Seeing none, this meeting's agenda is approved. Open forum. Is there anyone here for open forum? Seeing none. Announcement from the student body president, President Lister.
Hey, good evening, Senate. I hope you all had a good week since last Thursday. First off, I'd like to congratulate and then also officially nominate and let you all know Daniel Rivera for the Chief Justice position. Hopefully, next week he can get confirmed and he can start his work. This week, I've also been meeting with many administrators and reading hundreds of pages of material for my first Board of Trustees meeting next week. And then also myself and Jasmine, our diversity and inclusion coordinator, were able to meet with the Multicultural Student Center, their student director and their assistant student director this past week to discuss continued support and collaboration with them. And we also were able to attend their Juneteenth sound healing event yesterday in Live Oak. It's a lot of fun and great to meet all the people there. That's it.
Are there any questions for President Lister? Seeing none, Announcements from the student body Vice President Brawley.
Good evening, Senate. I hope you guys are doing well today. So today we had the first Agency Department Strategic Planning Board meeting, and I'd like to congratulate Medhavi from the Student Director of the Volunteer UCF on her election as Vice Chair. The next meeting for that board is to be determined, and that we focus on the board's goals and aims, as well as our strategic plan that will be posted by August. Mine and Bryce's evacuation and order in place procedures for the syllabi initiative has the support of the Faculty Senate, the Provost's office, and PD. And next week we will meet with PD to determine which plans for which buildings are complete and ready to go. Next Friday, I'm also meeting with Rick Falco and the DDC to finalize plans for representation of their organizations in the student union. This will allow for the representation of 12 Latin, Asian, and diverse RSOs in the union. And then from our comms team, please ensure you read and pin their email for references throughout this year. And I'd like to give them a special shout out for having only been staffed for about 2 weeks. They've already posted 5 graphics and are almost done with the Ask Me About Student Gov merch. And then for my Deputy Chief of Staff, she'll have a report next week on SGLC status. That's it.
Are there any questions for Vice President Brawley Lazo?
If possible, can you take any minutes of that PD meeting and send them to me? This is kind of an initiative that I've also been working on, so if possible, just send me like a little summary of that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, are there any other questions for the Vice President? Seeing none. Comptroller's report, Comptroller Samillo. Is Kylie here? If she's not, one of you guys can give it, either Bryce or Alex.
Yeah, so for Comptroller's report, I guess if Kylie's not here, then I don't think anything new. Sorry, I just got locked out of my laptop. Okay, so FAO has a negative balance of 24,578.65 with a reversion percentage of 6.01%. CRT has a negative balance of 35,322.36 with a reversion percentage of 3.5%. Please don't ask me any questions.
Are there any questions regarding the Comptroller's report? Seeing none, you're good to go, Bryce. You're in the clear that time. All right, Attorney General's report, AG Polera.
Okay, good evening, Senate. This week I've done 6 statutory revisions. So Title 4, 5, 6, and 10 dealt with a bill last session, which replaced school days to academic days. So my predecessor just missed some, so I filled it in. And then Title 3 and Title 14 dealt with a bill last session separating caucus and committee as 2 different entities. I just want to thank LGR for continuing to help find statutes that need to be revised. If you want to set up a meeting with me, or if you know of any statutes that need to be revised, please feel free to email me. Yeah.
Are there any questions for the AG? Seeing none, Cabinet Forum, Lucy Blanco.
Lucy's not here, so I'm actually not good. I will be doing her report for her. I'm just going to be quoting exactly what she put in the minutes. But hi, everyone. I hope you all have been having an amazing summer thus far. I would like to thank the amazing exec team for being so flexible and supportive while I have been studying abroad in Spain. These past few weeks, I have been working on collaborating with the deputy chief to support the cabinet and make sure everyone is acclimating well into their new roles. Additionally, working with the deputy chief to keep nailing out the details for our cabinet retreat, where I greatly look forward to getting to know everyone more, plan for the year, and continue team building. I am working with Bryce as well to work through Senate appointments, so lots of exciting advancements. See you all very soon and have a great meeting.
Are there any questions regarding anything in Cabinet Forum? All right, seeing none, announcements from the Interim Chief Justice, Daniel Rivera.
Hi, Senate. Thank you to President Lister for the nomination to be the permanent Chief Justice. I'm looking forward to confirmations next week. This week, 9 of our new justices attended the new justice orientation, and we are working closely with our campus partners to schedule their required trainings. We've seen a little bit of an uptick in our service requests with a little bit of a delay because our ranks are going through onboarding, but we're trying to keep those as live as possible. And as always, if you ever need any of our services, please feel free to reach out. That's it for me.
Are there any questions for the interim Chief Justice? Seeing none. Announcements from the Supervisor of Elections, none. Announcements from the Activity and Service Fee Committee Chair, none. Announcements from the Scholarship Committee Chair, none. Caucus reports, none. Announcements from the Senate President. All right, hi everyone, just a few things from me. So I appointed Senator Banesh for the ASB Senator at Large seat, so congratulations to her. The first meeting was today, so I think she'll have a few things to say about it. So that's going to be exciting. Since Alex mentioned this, I did want to bring it up. I forgot to mention this in exec because this would apply more to committee and caucus chairs. The Insta requests, I'm going to create some sort of system where it goes through me first. So for anyone in Senate requesting anything to get posted on Instagram for your committee, whatnot, that will go through me first. But I'm still figuring that out. But just so you guys know, I don't think we've run into that issue yet, but obviously the ELA is the exception. But other than that, yeah. All right, my next point is the new senator learning curve. I've heard from a few senators that sometimes you come in as a new senator and it is a little overwhelming. So I did just want to let you know that a lot of us are still learning all the time, even SGLCers, SLCers. I was one of them, and even as a new senator, I came in and I still had a lot to learn. I think my advice to you guys would be to just ask questions in committee if you're confused. I also am working on, I don't really know what else to call them, like cheat sheets type things, to where it's like kind of dumbs everything down, and just kind of helps you guys like memorize like procedures and things like that. I also know fiscal legislative workshops are coming up, but I think it would be good for you guys to have something like on, because I know there is some confusion. I will say that's totally normal as a new senator. Like that's not anything that's out of the ordinary. I remember I was in your shoes a year ago and I was definitely confused. It definitely just takes time to learn the procedure. So you're not behind, you're doing just fine if you're a little confused. I would just say just ask questions in committee at any time you can. That's the best way to go. I will say, like, I had a meeting with Bryce, I think on Monday, and we had a question and we were scrolling through the statutes and everything. So like it's a learning curve for everybody. Nobody here is all knowing. We're all learning. So don't worry about it if you feel a little behind, because you're probably not behind. It is just like a lot of information. So yeah, I just wanted to put that out there that I'll be working on little things, because I have heard a couple things from new senators about how it can be a little overwhelming, and I totally understand that. I was in your shoes as a new senator, and so to ease some of that learning curve, will definitely be helping you guys out a little bit more. If you guys have any questions about that, feel free to Teams message me. Okay, and I also wanted to, on a lighter, also more fun note, so the caucuses will be starting up really, really soon. I think the statutes say start of summer B. I'm still working that out with the other branch heads, but everyone will be like appointed at the same time is kind of like how it's going to work. And this makes it more like even so that everyone has a fair shot, whereas like everyone was also getting like appointed later. So starts at summer B, which starts next week, but I'm still working on things for that. But I did just want to run through the caucuses really, really quickly. I think I know them. Yes, I definitely do know them all. Women's, LGBTQ+, Black Caucus, APIA, Disability. Oh gosh. There's one more. Laurel, you can turn on your mic.
Okay, I don't know if you said it. You missed the two new ones: the interconnected transfer JC, and then the Arab, right?
I was waiting to do those ones, but there's 6 permanent ones. Oh, military and vets. Oh, that was the 7th.
Wait, let's just scroll up real quick. You said Latin Hispanic?
Oh my gosh, I could've
sustainability?
Okay, I missed Latin Hispanic. Okay, thank you. Yeah, so I will say for anyone who's confused about the caucuses, because I'm definitely not, trust me. Okay, so there's APIA, Black Caucus, Disability Caucus, Latin Hispanic, LGBTQ+, Military and Vets, and then Women's Caucus. Okay, and those are the permanent ones. And so then we have the 3 ad hoc ones, which statutorily are set to expire at the end of this session. Military and Vets was an ad hoc last year. That one was actually kind of introduced by Vice Chair Collazo. And then that one became like a permanent one just at the end of last session. And then Arab Ad Hoc Caucus, Sustainability Ad Hoc Caucus, Intercampus and Transfer Ad Hoc Caucus. So ad hoc, I guess, I don't really actually know like the exact definition, but that's kind of like temporary. So like I said, those are set to expire in a year. But there can be legislation made to make them permanent. So if everyone wants to start thinking about what caucuses they might want to join, the caucuses, as you can see, most of them, pretty much except for sustainability, are more identity-based. I'm going to highlight some things that the caucuses have done. There's been Black Business Showcase, Women's Business Showcase. The last APIA caucus did a UNICEF 5K. Things like that. Women's health fair, little events on campus they're able to throw and just during Women's History Month, Black History Month, things like that. Great way to get involved and rally those different demographics and communities on campus and throw fun events. Great opportunity for interbranch collaboration. So I did just want to throw that out there. You can start thinking about caucuses you want to join. If anyone has any questions, obviously let me know and I'd be happy to help out. But I'm excited for those to start. And for resignations, our resignations are Jameson, Jackson. And I think that is it for me. Any questions from myself? Metellus.
Yeah, so I just had a question of how exactly like we're going to sign up for the caucuses or like to be a member of these caucuses.
That's a great question. Next week, I will be sending out like a Google Forms to you guys. Also for the caucuses, there's no limit to what you can join. You can join all of them, you can join none of them, whatever you want. But that was a great question. I forgot to mention that next week I'll be sending something out for you guys, kind of like how it was when you were first appointed or first elected into Senate and you kind of did your committee assignments. I'll be doing that same thing, kind of ish, for caucuses. That was a great question. Thank you. Are there any other questions for myself? All right. Seeing none. Internal Legislative Assistant Report, Ayale Alcuda. Unfortunately, she can't be here, so I'll just read it out. Hello, Senate. Sorry I couldn't make it to today's meeting. I hope you all had a wonderful week. Yesterday, I emailed a form out to all committee leadership regarding one of Speaker Pullman's initiatives to keep the SG website more updated. This form will allow the Speaker's office to gather committee feedback regarding what changes they'd like to see made to the website. In order to do this as timely as possible, it'd be much appreciated for each committee to provide their feedback using the form within the next week. If you've had any trouble with the link or any other issues, please don't hesitate to reach out. I have full access to my ILA email, so you can do that there or through my Senate email. Thank you all again. Are there any questions regarding the ILA report? All right, seeing none. External Legislative Assistant Report, ELA Richmond.
Halima was just flexing on me because I still am trying to figure out my email. I still don't have access. So if you need me, I have Teams. Shout out Teams. I also have my Senate email. So email me there. But I'm hoping, shout out Brody, listen to this. I really want my email ASAP because I want to send out the emails to colleges by July 10th, just so we can start scheduling dean meetings. I guess the most recent Tuesday I met with comms. We will be meeting bi-weekly over this summer. And then if y'all are able to, I linked the new Senate newsletter kind of template that I created this week. I would love to hear what y'all think. I think it's better than the old one. I think the old one was very like newsletter, and this is more aesthetic and like kind of fits the Instagram like look. It's less boomery. So if you want to go ahead, look, maybe give me your feedback. Please do. I'd love to know. And then also, if you ever have any questions, oh, I thought that was me being on mute the whole time. Okay, sorry. Also, if you ever have any questions, feel free to reach out. I was not a part of SGLC. I came in last session, applied for ELA. Don't know why Sierra gave it to me, right? Didn't know anything. And then I remember Sierra was like, write legislation about colleges. I had never written legislation, but I was like, yes, Sierra. And I did it. So I think the best way to learn is to just do it, as Nike would say. And trust me, I know it's a learning curve. So if you have any questions, let me know. And yeah.
All right. My foot's asleep, so if you see me dying, that's why. Any questions for the ELA? Varela.
Yeah, I had a question about like your new Senate Spotlight template. I was wondering, I feel like when like we have a lot of bills we see, like we pass during a week, we just like do 2 stories that encompass all of them. We're trying to fit it all into one like small graphic.
No, so you were done, right? I'm going to take that as a yes. So kind of like I did last time where we would do 2, and I think this even makes it set up better for having part 2s because I can just make it like, let's say there's a ton of resolutions. So one would just be that white part of all resolutions, and we go to the next slide. I think this sets it up better because as we've seen, this session is so heavy with legislation, which is great. So I think this template even makes it easier to do it. So yes, there'll be multiple.
All right. Are there any further questions for the ELA? Seeing none, Senate President Pro Tempore report, Pro Temp Morset.
Hey guys, not much for me. I started working on my plans to reach out to the high school, so it's ready for the fall in collaboration with Chair Vasquez. Thank you for those who did send me high school contact information. I do appreciate it. And I am also working on finding a platform or revamping the pre-existing initiative tracker with Speaker Pullman. So more on that in the coming weeks.
Are there any questions for the Pro Tempore? All right, seeing none. Deputy Pro Tempore of Legislative Affairs report, D-Leg Butler. It's looking like there's nothing. All right, none. Deputy Pro Tempore of Senate Relations report, D. Sir Lazo.
Hey guys, so for those of you who didn't follow up with me about your RSOs and you've already received one, please reach out to me ASAP, sending any sort of like proof or just basically letting me know that you actually reached out to your RSOs. If you have or you CC'd me on your emails, you're good to go, you're fine, you don't have to send me anything else. I'm gonna send a follow-up email later, like in the semester, towards like maybe the beginning of fall, end of summer, with an update on those emails that are like missing in your list. I know it's like really annoying, but that's like a court thing. So thank you, Laurel. Sorry, I'm getting distracted because people are texting me. So if any of you are in person on July 23rd at 2 p.m. and are interested in speaking to like a couple of freshmen that I'm going to be bringing on a tour from Lead Scholars, like just trying to talk to them about your time in like Senate, I mean, student government as like a whole, or Senate, or if you were an SGLC or talk about that. Let me know, reach out to me. I'm organizing like a little SG office tour because they're incoming freshmen and I want them to get involved and like find out what SGLC is. So if you guys are interested, just let me know. Thank you.
All right. Are there any questions for the DSER? Seeing none. Old business, none. Fiscal Committee report, CRT Committee Chair Caringle.
Hi, everyone. Another reminder, we have a virtual fiscal workshop on July 19th at 6 p.m. So please come out if you want to learn more about the fiscal process and invite your RSOs to come out as well. Currently working on some Title 8 revisions just to kind of clarify some section and to fix others. Also working on a graphic to kind of help make the fiscal process a little bit easier to understand, make it a little more visual. But during committee this Monday, we saw 8 allocations. We approved 56, 016, 22, 26, 28. We postponed 56, 023, 24, 25, and 27.
Are there any questions for Chair Caringle? Seeing none. FAO Committee Chair Larson.
Hello, Senate. We had a great committee today. We had some very interesting discourse. We approved 2 allocations, 5504 and 5506. And if anyone wants to share their opinion on funding selective organizations such as the Lead Students Association, please reach out to me. I'd love to hear your opinion.
Metellus.
I just wanted to make a correction. It wasn't the Lead Student Association that was requesting funding. It was Leadership Week, which is under Lead Scholars, but LSA doesn't request FAO funding. Thank you.
Okay. Good to know. All right. Are there any questions for Chair Larson? Seeing none. ORS Committee Chair Rose.
So today, in our meeting today, we approved 1 VPF, postponed a bunch, and we worked on creating a new template for VPF submissions that hopefully we can upload to the Knight Connect submission form and fix a lot of the issues we get. So,
Are there any questions for Chair Rose? Seeing none. Fiscal legislation, none. Internal committee caucus time, none. Internal committee reports, ENA Committee Chair Takara.
ENA met this past Tuesday, discussed Chief Justice of confirmations, decisions, and also the upcoming Election Commission appointments. Earlier today, I was working with Chair Quartz on making an archive, starting with the 55th session legislation. This will consist of internal bills and resolutions that pass through LJ and ENA. Basically, it's a copy of the final bill, and then with a generalized summary of what it was referencing and what it worked on and what it did. So it could possibly help with the learning curve, so people understand how the format is and what it how legislation can actually affect everyone around them. And then now that confirmations have slowed down, I'm going to start speaking with ENA on pursuing different paths to table for open seats, and additionally creating a new open seats graphic, as the most recent one needs work with the different colleges, as one was just called engineering and one was called health, and also adding on the requirements and work Senate has done so people know what they're getting into and seeing what the work they can do. Also join ENA.
I will add Aiden, if you wanted to get in contact with the ELA, Laurel, because I know she works on that. So that could be something that you guys work together on, because the ELA meets with comms about posting on Instagram and things like that. But are there any questions for Chair Takara? All right, seeing none. GAP Committee Chair Vasquez.
Hi, Senate. This week in GAP, we discussed the differences between proclamations and resolutions briefly. Chair Hamid in his announcements, he's going to talk more about a workshop that we'll work on. We also recessed to research topics for our information guides. Everyone's working on a variety of different topics. This is all to inform students on voter information. And then we also took a look at updating the date, the capital description on the student government website, and getting input from members in the committee who have been today at the Capitol and those who haven't, to fill in any blanks. That's it from me.
Chair Vasquez, for the new senators, do you want to give a very brief rundown of day at the Capitol? Because I don't feel like a lot of them might not know.
Sure. Let me pull up the description that I have, just so it'll be accurate, and if there's anything wrong with it, we could just edit that. It's loading right now, so give me 2 seconds. Oh, that was funny.
Thank you.
Okay, here it is. Okay. UCF Day at the Capitol is an annual event hosted by UCF student government taking place at the Florida State Capitol, where students advocate and lobby for the future of the university with Florida representatives. The Government Affairs and Policy Committee filters through relevant legislation that directly impacts the UCF student body and conducts research to create an advocacy agenda. A survey is used to gain feedback on what the student body considers a legislative priority, and these priorities are included in our advocacy agenda. The advocacy agenda is voted upon in committee and by the Student Government Senate and taken to Tallahassee to lobby for these priorities. Some priorities we have seen in the past include education, which includes Bright Future scholarships, graduate school funding, international students, etc. Environmental concerns such as zero waste, recycling efforts, etc., public welfare, housing costs, mental health advocacy, etc., civil rights, including LGBTQ rights, women's health rights, etc. The event is open to all UCF students and is free to attend. Applications open on Night Connect in January. After applications close, an interview process will begin for those who were chosen to be in attendance. After those are selected, you will be assigned to a priority to advocate for. Info sessions and mock meetings will take place to properly prepare and inform attendees on how the event will run. The event will take place in April of 2025. Students will travel to Tallahassee by bus in the early morning, attend tours of the courthouse, attend live committee and Senate meetings, attend scheduled meetings with state representatives, break for provided lunch, and attend a reception to network and connect with members of the Florida legislation, and take a bus back to UCF. It was a little long, but I wanted it to actually encapsulate what we do. So.
All right, thank you. And are there any questions for Chair Vasquez? All right, seeing none. LJR Committee Chair Quartz.
Hello, everyone. Today we finished our read through of Title V and we'll begin Title VII next week. If there's anything you see within the statutes or rules that you'd like to update or add, never be afraid to reach out. And as Chair DeCara said, we've started working on the archive, so look at that whenever you have the chance.
Are there any questions for Chair Quartz? Seeing none. Oh, Varela, sorry.
Do we have like a set date on when we're gonna get our LGR reps for our committees?
Okay, so GAP has one, and you kind of don't have a set day because it depends on if the committee members go for those positions.
Yeah. Okay. Are there any more questions for Chair Quartz? All right, seeing none. SBA Committee Chair Hamid.
Hi, everyone. I hope you're all having a good week. So this week in SBA, we saw proclamations 5604, 5605, and 5606, all of which passed in committee. Chair Vasquez and I are planning on having a proclamation and SBA/GAP resolution workshop. If you're interested in writing proclamations or resolutions at all, or if you want to know more about structure and like grammar and how to read a resolution proclamation, which you have to because you're here, please fill out the when to meet so we can find a good time for everyone. As I said, even if you're not planning on writing anything, I'll be going more into depth about what these things are, what you should be looking for, what everything kind of means. So if you're kind of confused as to what we are looking at when we look at proclamations and resolutions, this is for you.
All right. Richmond, you have a question?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Oh, right. Jason, you're killing me. Can you do past 5 p.m.? I want to learn.
I'll update the when to meet.
Yes.
Are there any more questions for Chair Hamid? All right, seeing none. Confirmations? None. Can you believe it? Enjoy this break because it's not going to last for long. All right. Internal legislation. Notice of legislation on first reading? None. Notice of legislation on third reading, resolutions, resolution 5605, updates to Senate Rule 7, student Senate absences, Vice Chair Varela. You can go whenever you're ready.
I need a motion for like speech and question and debate.
You don't need one. You can make one if you want, but you don't need one.
Okay, I guess I'm just gonna go then. So anyway, yeah, this is the bill we saw last week, the one that would change missing the first meeting of the semester from a dismissal to just a normal unexcused absence. I don't really need to go through what the bill is gonna do because it's pretty simple. We voted on last week. I just wanted to clarify some concerns I heard during debate that maybe I can put some dis-ease at ease. Just generally, like, I'm not sure if there's a confusion, but this bill would not like eliminate all punishment for missing the first meeting of the semester. It would just make it an unexcused absence, which is a proper punishment, rather than just a full dismissal. So no, you don't have to worry about like there being no punishment at all for missing the first meeting of the semester. There still be the regular punishment that you get for missing any other meeting during a semester. And also I want to clarify that this is the first meeting of the semester, not the session. The meeting of the sessions when we get sworn in and when we vote for our speaker and pro temp, that is incredibly important still. You still will be dismissed if you miss that meeting. This first meeting of the semester, which holds far less importance than the first session. And again, you shouldn't be dismissed from meeting that first meeting. A standard unexcused absence is definitely enough punishment for that. So with that, I yield my time to question.
All right, we're now in line for questioning. Are there any questions for Vice Chair Varela? If not, I'll take a motion. Metellus.
Motion to move to debate.
There's been a motion to move to debate. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we're now in debate. Start any debate regarding this resolution. Metellus.
Motion to move to voting procedures.
There's been a motion to vote. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we're now in voting procedures. Remember to remain quiet for voting procedures. With a vote count of 30 to 4 to 1, Resolution 5605 passes on third reading. All right, back to the agenda. Notice of legislation on second reading. Resolutions, Resolution 5604, resolution advocating for the inclusion of special circumstance and emergency funding information in class syllabi. Chair DeCara. Because there's quite a few pieces, I'll ask for a motion. Varela.
All right, motion for 5-minute questioning, 5-minute speech, 5-minute question, 5-minute debate.
There's been a motion for a 555. Are there any objections? Seeing none, you have 5 minutes whenever you're ready, Chair DeCara.
Sorry. Yeah. Hi, Senate. Sorry I wasn't here last week to talk about this. So basically, this is something I found out about during the hurricane. I think it was Nicole or Ian. That basically it flooded like Arden, and it caused a lot of like power outages. It affected maybe because I live in the Central Florida area and I couldn't get out of my neighborhood. And there was a lot of uproar about UCF closing. And then I found out, well, what can UCF do for students who are affected by things like this? And then so I found the special circumstances and emergency funding part, which is a part of student care services. So basically since then, and actually just because hurricane season just started, I believe that's very important that a lot of students know about this, as a lot of students either live in dorms or live in the housing areas around here, or live in homes or renting homes. So they can understand that, you know, if something does happen during these hurricanes, they have access to the information. Additionally, this area also affects like medical expenses, travel stuff. Like if you read more about it, I can link it where it is in student care services in our chat just to help with that too. But as I was, you know, starting my summer classes, I noticed that a lot of stuff is included in syllabuses such as CAPS. And as if CAPS is there to help students too, I believe this can help students additionally. So I believe that this is something that should be included generally within class syllabuses. If you go to the bottom, you see a lot of people. It's just the people of student care services, downtown, and then additionally all the deans. It's just like it's going to be affecting each college. But yeah, I yield the rest of my time to questioning.
All right, we're now in line for questioning. Lazo.
In the event that like, because the fund does run out, like constantly runs out, if it does run out like earlier, maybe at the beginning of spring semester, how will that affect like class syllabi? Would you want the classes to take it out, or would you like to just leave it there so they know it exists for future?
Additionally, like I feel the process to receive this funding is a case by case basis. So additionally, it's our job to you know, provide the information. At that point, it's just kind of like up to student care services, you know, help promote them, the service they provide, and also like how can we let students know that, you know, this is a limited funding source. I wouldn't say necessarily remove it, but, you know, necessarily like for the student to then, you know, if they are in that need of that funding, for them to reach out to student care services and ask that. But also student care services, also if the funding is not there, they can help direct them to places that can help them in that sense. So it's not solely the students being like, this is your only option. I've heard people reach out to CAPS, like I think CAPS can refer you to outside sources too. So it's just like with this, I feel it's just something that, like, you know, the first area is UCF, and then if they can't do anything more, they can point you to the other directions that can help them.
Vasquez.
My question was going to be kind of along the same lines. In the event that the funds do run out, but you said before that like they haven't really promoted it and a lot of students don't know about it. The funding that doesn't get used or hasn't gotten used, does it just roll over?
I don't know, understand the funding aspect of there. That's a lot more something I have to like probably, you know, speak with them more. I haven't really spoken to them about that fund, the money side. I feel like a lot more confidential within the UCF's like budget. So I necessarily can't speak on that part of it. But yeah, I don't know if it's like a rollover or because if it's not, you know, how sometimes if we don't use all our money, then it gets the next budget gets cut. This generally could also be like a privately funded area too, not just from state funds. So
I can speak a little bit on that. So while it is confidential, what is stated if it's like later in the semester, like let's say they have the whole year and it's spring and they still have a lot more money left. Usually what they do is they'll underscore like the fall semesters, and then if they have the money left over, spring semester requestees usually are able to get the full amount they've requested for. I think with the maximum being 500, I believe it was.
I think it goes based on the situation, because when a person requests funding on different aspects, it lists multiple different things. Some of this stuff could just be temporary, like medical expenses, while some of this stuff is homelessness. So it really depends on that student's service, like agent, or, you know, their person. So it really just depends. It's a case by case basis regarding funding.
Okay, let's make sure that we're just raising our hands when we're talking, so it's just easier for me to maintain order. All right, Lazo.
And then my last question would just be, how would you kind of go about enforcing that, like it's in the syllabi? Like what kind of like process do like other like syllabi use, like when they put like the Title IX information? Would you just like be following that, or?
I'm gonna reach out to how that like works because there's a group of faculty that helps set up like the syllabus structure. There's a literal like board that makes like a template for teachers to use. A lot of the Title IX and certain things are just set by standards of like the state and school. While this would probably just be a push coming from students and then figuring out a way where it can be just more like a state push, like not state, a school like standard. So I would just hope it'd be one of those areas that's, a lot of professors, they have their stuff, and then it's like a lot of it's like, this is like, academic integrity, caps. It would just be within that area too, giving a generalized paragraph of like what it is on the website, and then giving them that link and that number for student care services.
All right, we have about a minute remaining in questioning. Varela.
If this resolution passes, how do you intend to follow up with to make sure that information is on the syllabi after it passes?
So I've already right now I've reached out. I'm still working out with Secretary Services. I spoke to someone in the past regarding this, but I want to get more student meetings being how can we work together to still push this into deans. Additionally, we have our summer dean meetings, so when I go in there, I can start with CCIE, and then a lot of these colleges do what they do is they follow based on what other colleges have had. I don't have an issue going to each colleges to every college dean meeting themselves too, or having someone to can speak on that behalf there too. Emails, you can send out that stuff. I've worked with the Department of Emergency Management who can help promote this too, and they have no problem also speaking to administration to help push it on that side too. So mostly it's just communicating to the deans that we see this as a valid point to be put in the class syllabuses. So with the summer dean meetings, hopefully that's a good start there. So by the fall time, if this were to be passed, I would be reaching out soon to the faculty board that does do the syllabuses, and then student care services, and then I would be starting with my dean meetings and the fall dean meetings.
All right, question time has elapsed, so is there a motion? Varela.
Motion to move to debate.
There's been a motion to move to debate. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we're now in debate. You have 5 minutes. Is there anyone wishing to speak in debate? Metellus.
We saw this bill in SBA and it looked great then and still looks great now. I really think that a lot of people could benefit from this. This is something I personally didn't know about, and I think having this in the syllabus would be a great way to reach every single student. And I also appreciate that Chair DeCara had a plan after this legislation gets passed if we decide to pass it. And I think it's great.
All right. Is there anyone else wishing to speak in debate? Vasquez.
I was going to make a motion.
You may.
Move to vote.
There's been a motion to vote. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we're now in voting procedures. All right, with a vote count of 33 to 0, Resolution 5604 passes on second reading. 30, I'm sorry, correction to the vote count, 35 to 0. Okay. Next we have Next we have Resolution 5606 updates to Senate Rule 7 student Senate absences. LJR Chair Courts, you have 5 minutes whenever you're ready.
Okay, yeah, so whenever I was thinking about this, it just kind of felt like a course type thing. because Senate Rule 7.10B says that the Senate President shall announce at the meeting the name of the student body senators who have accrued more than the maximum number of allowed absences, which is 2. And it doesn't say anything after that, like, so I don't really see the point, especially with knowing that if they have more than the maximum number of allowed absences, they're announced as being dismissed. So instead, I have amended it to say that the Senate President in writing shall notify those senators no more than 1 academic day after the LJR chair provides the names, because before every single Senate meeting, the LJR chair has to give those names to the Senate President. And that's really it, so I yield the rest of my time.
All right, Benesh.
Present and voting.
Senator Benesh, present and voting, so noted at 6:58 p.m. Or now online for questioning. Are there any questions for Chair Quartz? If there's no questions, I'll take a motion. Metellus.
Motion to move to debate.
There's been a motion to move to debate. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we're now in debate. Is there anyone wishing to speak in debate? Metellus.
May I retain?
You may.
So yeah, this bill looks great. I think it would allow for time to move faster in Senate as well without the speaker having to announce everybody that has those absences, and I think it looks good. So with that being said, motion to move to vote.
There's been a motion to vote. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we're now on voting procedures. Levine.
President voting.
Oh, I should have done that after voting. My bad. I'll just Senator Levine, present and voting, so noted at 7 p.m. My bad, Brody. All right, with a vote count of 37 to 0 to 2, Resolution 5606 passes on second reading. All right, next we have Resolution 5607, updates to Senate Rule 6.04, pro-con procedure. Vice Chair Varela, you have 5 minutes whenever you're ready.
Okay, hello, Senate. This bill would address the pro-con procedure. This is the procedure that we use to resolve objections. For those who don't know, the current procedure is to give both the originator of the motion and the objector 1 minute each to defend their position. The current system is woefully inadequate in a multitude of ways, each of which is addressed in this bill. The first reason why this system is just not working is because it's simply not enough time for each party to speak on why the position is correct. During their speech, they often have to speak very fast, which makes them both difficult to understand and does not give them time to properly collect their thoughts and formulate their arguments. This bill would increase speech time to a maximum of 2 minutes. This allows both parties to properly form and articulate their arguments. Allowing both senators to properly defend their position will give the rest of Senate better arguments to decide between, deciding how they will vote. Next, it was crucial to address the biggest inadequacy of the current procedure, which is not giving the Senate body time to deliberate amongst themselves if the objection should be granted or not. The speech of one senator is rarely enough to make an informed decision on how one will vote. The bill would amend that by building a maximum of 5 minutes debate time into the procedure before the Senate votes on the objection. We as a body can debate basically every other piece of business we vote on, so it's really kind of nonsensical that we cannot debate objections. Objections in their very nature tend to be controversial, so debate is really necessary. Each senator should have a chance to both give an argument and listen to other arguments before making their vote. This change will allow senators to do their proper due diligence when considering an objection and finally treat objections with the respect they deserve. The final change this bill makes is renaming the pro-con language to accepting or rejecting the objection, respectively. This is important because pro or con is fairly confusing and can easily be simplified into more common language. Pro and con can especially be confusing when we're all in the chamber and when we're using our voting machine instead of the pretty convenient Teams polls that Brody can make and name however he wants to kind of lessen the confusion for all of us. Also, be really helpful for onboarding new senators who could be confused with what pro and con means because I've never seen that outside of this chamber. I don't understand why it's named like that. It was really confusing when I first joined, so I would love to make that better for new senators. Before I say my closing statements, I want to address a unique quirk of the bill that exists in line 5 of the new language. This is the one that says every objection within the procedure has to be accepted. The reason this exists is because by opening up debate during objections to the rest of Senate, any senator can make a motion freely. So for example, say if there's been 2 minutes elapsed of debate, I can motion to vote, but if someone still has something to say, they can object to that, and that could put us at risk of getting to an objection within an objection and just having to resolve infinite number of objections over and over and over again, which is not where we want to be. So to resolve this, I just said, if you object, it'll automatically be accepted, which means that we will remain in the debate time. And there's already a safeguard that says, we have a maximum of 5 minutes to debate. That's a hard limit. We cannot go over that. So no matter what, we will be ushered into the next, into the voting procedure, even if someone keeps objecting the motion to vote for some reason. In conclusion, this bill would allow senators to simply do their job better. This bill may seem like a law, but it simply brings resolving objections in line with most other Senate business. As previously stated, objections is the only significant Senate business that involves a vote that does not give the body proper time to discuss the options, which is ironic because Senate opinion tends to be very split during objections, which makes Senate debate pretty necessary. The current pro-con procedure throttles the Senate's ability to make informed votes. My bill will resolve this issue and finally give objections the respect they deserve. With that, I yield my time of questioning.
All right, we're now in line for questioning. Remember, we have 5 minutes. Are there any questions? No questions? No, if there's no questions, I'll take a motion. Weideberg.
Motion to move to debate.
There's been a motion to move to debate. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we're now in debate. You guys have 5 minutes. Metellus.
Can I motion to see my amendment now?
Yes, there's been a motion to see Senator Metellus's amendment at the 4th bullet point. You can just go whenever you're ready.
Yeah, so I just thought that maybe we could add this in here because we're not sure what the debate might include, and having a hard deadline or maximum of 5 minutes might be limiting whatever debate is especially if it's a serious objection. So I just think having a motion to extend the debate is something that we could add to it.
All right, we're now in line for questioning. Are there any questions for Senator Metellus? Lazo.
Do you foresee any issues with this that might cause sort of like people requesting for an unlimited debate, or just when extending the debate, it makes it longer than the original section they were motioning for in the first place?
That could be an issue. And I feel like if we do think that could be a prominent issue, then we don't have to see this, or we don't have to approve this amendment. It was just, I was just thinking that limiting the debate might limit information given, but if we do see that having the debate run on longer than it should be is a bigger issue than limiting the debate, then seeing all the information that might be provided, then we don't have to vote yes on this one.
Are there any more questions for Senator Metellus? If there are no more questions, I'll take a motion. Varela.
Move to debate.
There's been a motion to move to debate. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we're now in debate on this amendment. I'll go with Lazo.
So unfortunately, while I appreciate the sentiments of this amendment, I do think that it is going to cause more harm than good in the long term. I think having it up to 2 minutes is really a good amount of time. These profiles really are made to be like short and sweet because it's really just supposed to be hard hitting and then not take away from the amount of time already spent on objecting or not objecting. So I do think having the ability to make an emotion and extending the debate might just cause it so that we're spending more time on it than we really should be. So unfortunately, I don't believe that we should vote to include this amendment. I think the 2 minutes is a nice, like, sweet spot for how much time we're dedicating to it.
We only have like 1 minute left in debate time for the whole bill. So Varela, and let's be sensitive of time.
First, can I motion to extend debate time by 3 minutes?
By 3. There's been a motion to extend debate time by 3 minutes. Are there any objections? Seeing none, debate time is extended by 3 minutes. I'm doing the math. I think we have I think that's 4 minutes left in debate.
Awesome. Then from a piece of debate, I will unfortunately be encouraging Senate to vote no on this amendment. As the author of the bill, I spent a lot of time really considering this, and I worked really hard to kind of get the language to where I wanted it. And the intention of having a maximum of 5 minutes is like what Lazo is saying, Senator Lazo or Deezer Lazo, my apologies. We're saying is that I don't want us to get stuck. We can very easily get kind of lost in like saying everything you can say about a debate, and we can like say things over and over again that kind of mean the same thing. We can debate for something for 20 minutes when we really should be debating for 5. And just also to clarify the timing conventions, I made this bill in a way that with like if each senator like uses the max amount of time allotted to them, we have 2 minutes, then 2 minutes for speeches, which is 4 minutes, and then 5 minutes debate, which is 9 minutes. And then assuming the voting takes about 1 minute, that's 10 minutes to have an objection, which to me that is a perfectly adequate time to handle an objection. Like Lazo said, I don't want to be spending more time on objections than we are spending on the bill. Even objections are extremely important. So this time is pretty fine-tuned to like what I think is a good sweet spot. So I will encourage Senate to vote no, although I appreciate the sentiment and I think it was an important question to ask.
Metellus.
Can I just remove my amendment?
I think or since we're already in the procedure, I don't know, Brody, how does that work?
Yeah, you can withdraw your amendment if you want to.
Okay. Yes, I would like to withdraw my amendment.
Right. Okay. We have about, I think, if I'm doing my math correctly, 1 minute and 10 seconds remaining in debate for the resolution. Is there anyone else wishing to speak in debate? If not, I'll take a motion. Carringle.
Motion to move to vote.
There's been a motion to vote. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we're now in voting procedures. Oh, I asked. Okay, sorry. I got ahead. Like, you know, when you ask something. Okay, we're now in voting procedures. All right, with a vote count of 25 to 2 to 7, resolution 5607 passes on second reading. Lazo?
And it's fine with Vice Chair Palazzo. Is it possible if we could see the proclamation as block, seeing as they're all very similar, or if he wants to do them separately?
Colosso, you can respond if you want.
Yeah, we can see them as a block. I do have amendments on one of them to add RSOs, but that's it.
Okay. You can make the motion, Lazo.
Motion to see proclamation 5604, proclamation 5605, and 5606 as a block.
All right, there's been a motion to see proclamation 5604, 5605, and 5606 as a block. Are there any objections? Seeing none. I forget if we have to use the same 555 that we use for resolutions. Does that carry to proclamations? Yes or no? Jason says yes. Okay. Sounds good. Then, because there's 3 of these, I think, Colazo, you can just go. Lazo, yeah.
I was gonna motion to ask for more time, but if he's fine with the 555, I'm fine with it. Up to the Vice Chair.
I'm okay with 5 minutes. It's fine.
Okay, so we'll stick with the 555. So you have 5 minutes. Whenever you're ready.
Okay, perfect. Okay, hi everyone. So seeing as we're seeing my proclamations in a block, I'll just quickly go over them. So 5604 is proclamation recognizing the United States Army's 246th birthday. This is just to, recognize the sacrifice that our Army members have given to the nation. This is also for military students who are affiliated with the Army, just so they know that student government does see them. And then 5605 is recognizing June 12th as Women's Veterans Day. I think this is very important because Sunshine State, aka Florida, houses the second largest number of women veterans in the nation. So I think it's very important to recognize. And then the last one is PTSD Awareness Month. I think this one's very straightforward. Just recognize the mental illness that affects not only veterans but different types of individuals, from children to teens to adults, from many different cases, and not only war but domestic violence, abuse, things like that. If you don't know, I am the co-founder of the Military and Veterans Caucus, so I will be introducing similar proclamations like this throughout the year, just so our military affiliated students are recognized. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, just let me know. I yield my time.
All right, we're now on for questioning. You guys have 5 minutes. Any questions? Marcette.
This is not totally pertaining to the proclamations, but I was just curious, once the Military Veterans Caucus does start up, I know you said you wanted to introduce legislation like this throughout the whole session. Will you also collab with them once they start?
Yes, I do plan on running for chair again, because as last year was a little bit iffy. We had an acting chair at one point, so hopefully I'm elected again and I can serve a full term as the Military and Veterans Caucus chair.
All right, Caringle.
Motion to debate.
There's been a motion to move to debate. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we're now in debate. I'll go with Colazo.
Sorry. Yeah, I motion to see my amendment. It's on Proclamation 5606, a proclamation recognizing the month of June as PTSD Awareness Month. If you go to the Be Further Resolve clause, I added psychology RSOs.
Okay. There's been a motion to see Vice Chair Galazzo's amendments. Are there any, or is just one amendment? Are there any objections? Seeing none, you can just give a little speech.
Yeah, just one of the things that was brought up to SBA was to include psychology RSOs, since it was originally tailored for veterans, but it's more so recognizing everyone who's infected by PTSD. So yeah, that's why I added it. I yield my time.
Are there any questions? Karen Cole.
Move debate.
There's been a motion to move to debate. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we're now in debate on this amendment. Is there anyone wishing to speak in debate? Karen Cole.
Move to vote.
There's been a motion to vote. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we're now in voting procedures on this amendment. With a vote count of 34 to 1 to 1, this amendment passes. All right, we still have about 2 minutes, a little over 2 minutes remaining in debate on these proclamations. Varela.
Move to vote.
There's been a motion to vote. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we're now in voting procedures. All right, with a vote count of 36 to 1 to 0, proclamations 5604, 5605, and 5606 pass on second reading. All right, we're now in Senate forum, so I'll go Banesh.
Hi everybody, sorry I'm driving, but I was appointed the agency and department planning board senator at large, and we had our first meeting today. Nothing really of note, but if you can see in the agenda, I wrote down all the events that some of the agencies are having coming up in summer B and in fall. So I would love it if you guys would show up. If you guys need to connect with any of these agencies, please let me know. Yeah, that's all for me. Thank you.
All right, Takara.
Hi, everyone. As you see, it's regarding hurricane season awareness. Last Monday, me and Chair Kringle met with the, basically the admin that run Department of Emergency Management, basically creating a relationship, just being like, hey, like, what can we do to help you and what can you do to help us? We're gonna meet with the Emergency Management Student Association too, just to get those students involved. Basically to just get everything ready for hurricane season, let students know how to make hurricane survival kits, like basically little packs, let them know where shelters are. As the resolution was just passed, I know that there is funding with UCF and there's other aspects for them to, get some help in any way. But yeah, we want to like do collaborative efforts. We thought about doing a little reel showing like how to make a little kit and everything. But yeah, we're gonna have meetings soon with them, just in general too. We'll get the safety and transportation coordinator involved too, because she does want to reach out with them. But both me and Chair Kringle are emergency management majors, so we just want to like set the the footwork first. It's groundwork, but yeah.
Okay. I don't know who said this, but someone said we are singing happy birthday to Aile Al-Quda and Chair Caringle. I think that was Lazo who put that in there.
That was me. So that is everybody on line 2. So I'm gonna count down 3, 2, 1, and then we're gonna start singing because it was Halima's birthday on Monday and it was Adam's on Tuesday, right? I can't even forgot.
I don't even love the room.
Guys. 3, 2, 1.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday
to you. Happy birthday. And Halima.
And Halima, I'm just trying to I said
Okay.
I said Halima.
I did too.
All right. Okay, let's reel it back in. But that was really funny because it was like you guys, I don't know where you guys were, but then everyone on Teams was somewhere else. But it was really entertaining. Okay. I'll go Laurel.
As always, join UCF Dems, and while you're at it, why don't you join Urban Knights because we all love infrastructure. Also, I will be there, so you should be there. This is the only time I'm going to Orlando. I won't even be in Orlando for syllabus week, so this is how exclusive I am. So go to this. Here's the link. It is July 12th or 13th. Now, I probably am not gonna lie. I probably will not be there the 12th, but I will be there the 13th. I'm like, 4 out of 10% sure that I will be there. So go, or I will cry. Not really.
Okay. Metellus.
Well, first of all, shout out to Brody's daughter for joining us. Well, my announcement is hi everyone. So Lead Scholars is currently looking for an athletics director for the LSA board. If you know anyone that is interested in accepting this position that is in Lead currently, or interested in joining Lead Scholars, please let me know, or feel free to forward the post on the Lead Scholars Instagram. If you have any questions about this position or Lead in general, please let me know. Thank you.
Oh my gosh. Mini Brody. That's Vanessa's comment. That is so true. Okay. Caringle?
Jordan said hi everyone, and it was just that originally, and he didn't have like the actual announcement, so I just said hi back to Jordan. Forgot to Jordan.
Got it. Hamid? Or actually, before you go, Takara, did you have a comment on Metellus's forum?
No, it was something I completely forgot. It's also like E&A to do this. I think Bryce said something about this, but for the open seats, like get people involved. I think it was Senator Green just told me that he referred someone to like get someone involved within Senate. So like if you have your friends who like do not know, like maybe they want to get someone on their resume or like figure out get involved on campus. Student government is a great place to start. So like just reach out. It could be like a random person in your class, and maybe ask a professor to talk about it. Branching out can people who maybe like to the in their shells, this can help open them up a little bit more, and also fill the seats that we have underrepresented colleges. We have lost now 2 graduates. I think it's just Hall. So I really we love Paul, but also it's also nice to have a good amount so we can have like a different aspects of everything. But yeah, I just forgot to say this in my little announcement earlier. But yeah, just tell everyone to join student government.
Okay. Hamid.
So this is from my announcement earlier. I just updated the Wednesday meet to include more times just for Laurel. So it's for the resolution and proclamation workshop that I want to host. Please fill it out, even if you don't want to write proclamations. You'll learn a lot. I promise.
This is a really good outlet if you're feeling confused about the procedures. Again, you don't have to write anything, but if you just want to get a feel for the process it goes through, that's a good idea. All right, is there anyone else wishing to speak in Senate forum? Seeing none, Senate deliberations, Varela.
Hey everybody, I just wanted to talk with Senate for something I've been working on. I've been in contact with Ryan Newton, who is the director of FYE, who does orientations, and we've been in contact about some, with the transfer orientations, kind of problems with that. But during our emails, he brought up, even though we can't have student government, do anything this year, he still wants us to kind of send him what we want to be emphasized in like a presentation or something. So kind of present the question to the Senate. It's like, what do you guys think we should have talk about Senate, service we provide, what we do. I already planning to talk about SGLC and the open seats just so we can people involved in the Senate. But I was just wondering if anyone has any ideas about, things we could talk about with him because he is open to helping us out a little bit.
Hamid.
Maybe judicial parking appeals and like what's the other, it's like the academic, if they get like, what's the academic thing that where like if you get in trouble?
Academic misconduct.
Yeah, like academic misconduct help. I think those 2 would be good for new students.
Hall.
Yeah, so if I could make a suggestion, because I definitely like the idea. I actually spoke recently to Ryan at one of our undergrad admissions meetings. But something else kind of just to float out there for you, JC, if you wanted to maybe explore, is that specifically undergraduate admissions hosts open houses pretty much every month, which are attended by typically like in some cases we've had like over 2,000 students and their families come to the open houses. SG technically has a table. They just haven't taken undergrad up on actually tabling at the event. Mind you, in the middle of the event, there is a separate kind of breakout area where pretty much every major agency does table, including some of the ANSF funded agencies that, you're typically probably seeing hundreds of students and their families coming in and out. So that could actually be something that, if you wanted to work with undergrad admissions at all on that, I know like obviously Ryan's talking about trying to do this for transfer orientations next year. You could start doing open houses next month when it starts. So that could be a potential way to at least interact with incoming potential students, as well as in the spring, our open houses are only for students that have been admitted to UCF and are planning to come. So in that case, in the spring, you're talking directly to students who are coming to UCF. And a lot of times things like SGLC, other programs could probably be promoted there as well.
Can I follow up a question about that? Yeah, so we have a table, just no one utilizes it at the open house. What's the situation there?
So from what I've gathered, and mind you, SG is not the only entity that doesn't table, so I didn't want to make that sound like it's just SG. It just sounds like, to be honest, either past years or whatnot, typically I know a lot of those tabling things go more through exec, so that might be good to include exec, but they just stopped tabling, and so I can't tell you exactly when that would have happened, but long story short, the reason why it came to my mind was when at the tabling, we typically have like a paper for each table that just has like the name of the agency. And at the bottom of the box, I found an SG table. So then I asked somebody about that. And I guess, yeah, just after a while, agencies that stopped responding to showing up, they just stopped providing a table. But it's pretty easy to provide a table. It's done on, I can't remember. What's the ballroom on the second floor of the Union? Is that Key West or is that Key West is either way, the big ball, like they take up the entire ballroom for that. So it'd be pretty easy if SG potentially wanted to. At the very least, maybe the ones that are like for students that are already admitted, that would probably be possible to table. And again, the foot traffic is you're going to be interacting with hundreds of people.
Yeah, awesome. And this is just something to talk to Ryan about, or is there someone else I should reach out to about that?
Worst case, I'd say if you want to reach out to me, I can speak with my directors at undergrad admissions, because this isn't done through orientation. This is the open houses are done like orientation tables at the undergrad admissions open houses. But if that is something that you wanted to explore, the biggest thing is obviously the issue that happened in the past was SG just stopped tabling and showing up. So that would probably be some way of, our branch and exec and whatnot, and even, incorporating the others working together to make sure that people are actually tabling at this event. Because obviously, at the end of the day, empty tables is not a good look for our department. So making sure that there's kind of a constant, that it's a priority that I mean, from my experience, I do actually think it would be beneficial just because of the amount of students that you're seeing. The students that are actually taking the time to even go to an open house tells you that they're probably more likely to be interested in UCF, but also more interested in getting involved early in things. So that might actually be kind of the perfect demographic that you're kind of looking for if you're trying to use stuff like transfer orientation and whatnot.
Yeah.
I'm going to come in here really quick because I don't know if Brody has, I don't think you've talked to me about that yet. Brody, if you have, I'm sorry, but I also, the orientation specifically has been on my radar. No, not in a while, just past years. Okay, I'm in the clear. Okay, I'm not avoiding Brody's emails. But this has been on my radar. No one's slandering Allison. No one's doing that. But this has been on my radar. And I actually did speak to Bryce and Alex about it. Not open house. Someone could give me a little bit more perspective on open house. But I will say for orientation specifically, we were a little bit concerned about the foot traffic. Personally, my orientation was online. So I don't know how it is here. But we were concerned that like nobody would care. And I don't want to waste their time. I don't want to waste our time. But this has been on my radar. We've been talking about it, but I am just like, we're trying to find out little details and figuring out what is the most efficient way. I'm not actually really too well versed on open house, but if what Hall says about it actually being a really, really good opportunity, and we're the only empty table, we can definitely look into that. I will say, you guys have been pretty good at this, but anything that's like on behalf of the legislative branch or on behalf of SG, we're going tabling, we're going doing that. Just make sure you run it by me. I'm never going to say no most of the time. I don't foresee that, but do just make sure you're running things by me before we go and do things. The face of the legislative branch, I'm doing us, just make sure it's not by me. But you guys are pretty good at that. But it has been on my radar. Lazo.
I just wanted to speak to a little bit more of the orientation. I don't really know about the open house because me and my friends is like I've only been here for a year and a half. We didn't really do open house because it didn't really seem that beneficial. So I worry about spending our energy on that. But for orientation, I table with my job at the bookstore, and even for questions that are as mundane as rentals, we get so many people at our table. So I definitely think we are missing out when it comes to orientation. And this is kind of something that I've been brainstorming with Chair Vasquez, considering how I've seen the Ginsburg Center tables, and I've seen other I want to say ASF like budgeted things that are like halfway funded by us or are funded by us. I've seen them also tabling, so I really do think it's a good opportunity for SG as a whole, not just Senate specifically, to table. And if maybe we can kind of like do a rotation of which branch or which members of SG are tabling.
Okay. Metellus.
Yeah, so I did want to talk about tabling at open houses because I believe it was the Scholars Day open house that I attended before I came to UCF. I was still a senior in high school at this time. But this is actually when I first found out about SG. Like Elizabeth and a couple other people who I don't remember because I think they graduated that semester told me about it, and they told me about the SGLC program specifically. And that was my first introduction into SGLC. So I do think that tabling at these open houses can be very beneficial.
All right, good to know. Hall.
Yeah, so just if I can, the main reason why I was presenting the open house as an alternative is based on what JC said and from what I know from past experience. Tabling at orientation for this current year at this point likely is not feasible. I know that orientation is pretty strict when it comes to like when agencies and whatnot we're supposed to sign up for that. So while I agree that I think orientation is the more, at least, you know, the students going to orientation are admitted, are actually specifically coming to UCF naturally, it does seem like that option has been somewhat exhausted for this year, at least at the very least for the summer, which is when the bulk of students are attending orientation. So like the open house idea was more so because the open houses happen all year long, separate from orientation, and it's, you know, not the same level of strictness when it comes to like the agenda, because that's the main reason why orientation is not very flexible with that. So the open house idea, which it was funny that Senator Metellus said that because I'm pretty positive I was tabling with Lizzie Bett at that. But the overall kind of point was more so like open houses are great because you're dealing with at least, you know, upwards of almost 2,000 people, especially again, like I said, in the spring, that's when you're dealing specifically with like the only students that are allowed to attend are admitted students. So in most cases, if an admitted student is attending an orientation, they're attending because they're required to. If they're attending an open house, they're choosing to attend an open house, which I would contend is, and don't get me wrong, I think tabling at both is great. I would contend that if someone's choosing to go to an open house, they probably have some sort of interest in actually wanting to learn more about UCF versus what they're required to do. So all that to say, like, I'm more than happy to kind of work with my department, but I would also say, like, beyond just open houses, there are other events like that that aren't through undergrad admissions or orientation that, like, I think this overall train of thought's really good of making sure that you guys are tabling as much as possible and getting the word out, because I do think SG is kind of unique from a lot of other orgs, and people would probably be pretty receptive at any of these events.
Yeah, whether orientation is or isn't in the picture, I think I carried that same sentiment, or we carried the same sentiment when I talked with Bryce and Alex, is would they care? Which they might, but like you said, it's like when they're going because they have to. So that's pretty much the same thing there. All right. We do have more business to get to, but this is good conversation. Caringle.
Yeah, I'll just say really quick, when it comes to first year experience and like orientation, they usually do have a lot of tables open. So I mean, the worst thing we could ask is they could just say no. I also say for just tabling in orientation as many events as we can. Yeah, it's nice to have people that come out because they want to learn more about UCF, but it's like advertisements on the road. You know, you go by, you at least see the SG table, you go, okay, SG's a thing, I might not want to join it now, but weeks down the line, months down the line, maybe a year down the line, hey, I remember the SG table, let's go try that out.
Barrios.
I just want to say quickly that I'm present and voting.
All right, Senator Barrios, present and voting, so noted at 7:42 p.m. All right, is there anyone wishing to speak in Senate deliberations? Varela.
Yeah, I just wanted to thank everyone for what they said. I thought it was a really good conversation. Really enjoyed it. I hope that we can all I guess work together to kind of be more present at these events. So cool. I just want to say thank you everyone for speaking. That was very successful. So thank you.
And I'll add too before we move on. Again, this is on my radar. I did talk to Bryce and Alex about it after it was brought to my attention, and we're definitely all in the same boat. And then once the new fiscal year starts, which is very soon, we're going to be ordering merch and stuff for tabling and things like that. So we'll be good to go. But that's it for Senate's deliberations. Advisors report. Brody.
Yeah, not a lot from me. For those in paid roles, the pay period ends today, so make sure that you submit your time. No worries, you have until tomorrow at noon. I prefer it tonight just to make my life easier and so we don't forget, but just make sure to submit that time. And then yeah, that's kind of all I have. So other than that, we'll do some senator shout outs. Yes, you can have a hug. All right. Jason, you're up.
I'm so sorry, Brody. Could I motion to elections first and then we come back to this?
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Okay. Motion to move to miscellaneous business.
There's been a motion to move to miscellaneous business. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we're now there. All right. For elections, we have the ANSF vacant seats. Oh wait. Why do I do that? ANSF vacant seat. Due to Senator Almanar dropping, or resigning. So I know this. Is there a motion to open elections? Is there a motion to wait? No. Yeah, wait, is there a motion to open nominations? Are there any nominations? Hamid.
I'd like to nominate Eli Richmond.
ELA Richmond, do you accept or decline?
I do. Oh, I accept.
All right. Oh gosh, I need to write this down. Sorry. I need to write down the names, even though they're on the whatever. Okay. Karen Gold.
I'd like to Vice Chair Glazo.
Collazo, do you accept or decline?
I accept.
All right. Morset. Nope. Okay. Are there any more nominations, Karen Gold?
Motion to close nominations.
There's been a motion to close nominations. Are there any objections? Levine, you object?
Am I able to nominate myself?
You may.
I withdraw.
Like nominate myself.
Okay. All right. Are there any more nominations? Seeing none, is there a motion to close nominations? All right. Is there a motion for speeches questioning? Oh, Gumrov.
Present in voting.
Senator Gumrov, present in voting, so noted at 7:46 p.m. And is there a motion for speeches questioning and debate? Oh, I see a hand. Sorry. Finish.
Motion for 333.
So remember that it's 3, and so like they each get like 3 minutes for their own speech. Sorry, I should have clarified this. 3 minutes.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, and then it would be 3 for all of questioning, 3 for all of debate.
Motion for Wait, so all the questioning time, it's for all the candidates?
Except for speeches. Speeches would be based on the motion that you almost made. It would be each candidate has 3 minutes each for a speech, but for questioning and debate, it's 3 minutes for questioning in total, 3 minutes for debate in total.
Okay, so motion for 3-10-10?
There has been a motion for a 3-10-10. Are there any objections? Seeing none. Richmond, you have 3 minutes whenever you're ready.
Hey, so my name is Laurel. I want to keep this quick and short. So I became very passionate about the budget after last year during the Senate meeting. I went to all of the informational sessions about the budget. I even once stepped in. Ryan, the old chair of the budget, asked if I could step in and take minutes. So I did take minutes once, so I know a little bit. I know how heavily they rely on Excel. I love Excel. And then last time I know we lost the graduate representation, which I thought was great. But because of my experience as ELA, I've gotten to talk to the dean, which is Dean Klonoff. And we've discussed the budget heavily. A lot of her concerns actually stem from the budget and wanting it differently. So I can provide some of that representation that we want so much, even though it's not ideal. As brought up last time, I love to talk. As you can tell. So I can't wait to meet everyone. Even if I am not elected as a seat, I will still have the alternate seat. So no matter what, I'm ready to get to work. I yield the rest of my time.
Okay, Colazo, you have 3 minutes.
Okay, hi everyone. I'm so honored to be nominated once again. I was nominated last time for the ASNF seat, and I'm nominated again. So I'm very passionate about ASNF because as a previous judicial member, there's no current seat for a judicial member. No justice or chief justice sits on ASNF, and I just want to make sure that the budget is, promotes inclusivity and is fairly allocated to all the branches. I know that the judicial branch fought really, really hard this year to have more of a bigger budget, because we struggle to provide ourselves some basic things on like promotional items, some of the merch items that we have, our jackets, our name tags, and other things. I would also like to add that, this will be my first time sitting on the ASNF, so I'm so willing to learn and, grasp and just, absorb any knowledge that I can regarding our budget. And I yield the rest of my time. Thank you so much.
Okay, Ravine, you have 3 minutes whenever you're ready.
First off, I would like to say thank you for everyone letting me have this platform right now to speak on this. I'm really honored to run for this position, and unfortunately, last time during the ANSF, I really wanted to be there, but unfortunately, I was out on business down in South Florida doing a show. Obviously, this will be my first time on ANSF because this is my first time as a senator. But I'm really, really excited for the opportunity to potentially get on there. I've massive experience with finance, budgeting, and all that. I am currently the active treasurer for my fraternity, Tau Kappa Epsilon, manage over a 6-figure budget, and had phenomenal results compared to previous years, just off the pivots and changes I made just within my first semester in that position. I also run a 6-figure business. Looking forward to using the experience I have growing that business and the budgeting experience and the finance experience there to really apply them in the ANSF role. I also think it's very valuable to have some College of Business representation in there, since it's such a financial and kind of business minded role. I think I'll do a phenomenal job and really represent us well there. And I yield the rest of my time. Thank you.
Okay, we now are in questioning, in which there'll be 10 minutes for all of it. And then the first rotation will go Richmond, Colazo, and then Levine. Okay, Lazo.
Seeing as how the yearly budget is something that affects so many organizations and agencies on campus, are there any sort of time commitments or any prior commitments that you have that may interfere with your ability to show up to meetings?
Richmond.
Yeah, so usually the meetings are during the day, and during the day I'm basically free every day except Tuesday. That's when I'm super busy downtown. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty busy during the nights, either working or having RSO commitments, but during the day I'm usually free and I'm excited to get to work. Thank you for the question.
Colazo.
Yeah, so I pretty much have open availability. I'm just on ASNF. I take majority of my classes online as a political science major, and my other, my extracurriculars just include student government. So yeah, I have open availability for this.
Levine.
So obviously I do have my role, as I mentioned, in Tau Kappa Epsilon as the CFO over there. But aside from that, my only real time commitments are student government. The business classes, if you guys don't know, are in the real format where we only meet 5 or 6 times a semester per class, which is great. Other time commitments, I do have my business, but the beauty of that, it's all online. It's full e-commerce. It's as little or as much as I want every single day. So I'm super, super flexible, and it's something that I'm very passionate about and definitely will be there.
All right. Levine. Christopher Levine.
Can I ask a question now?
Yes, you may.
How have your past experiences helped prepare for your role?
We'll start with Colazo, and then Levine, and then Richmond.
So in my time as an associate justice, we reviewed the proposal that we were going to submit to ASNF. Although that was led by our Eric Center Assistant Chief Justice, we were very much in the loop about the budget. We know how it was allocated and distributed, so I'm very aware of how ASNF works.
Levine.
Yeah, so obviously, as I stated before, I do have experience in Tau Kappa Epsilon as the CFO. Literally have the checkbook right here where I sit there and balance spreadsheets all day. Been working with P&L since 7th grade when I started my business. So super, super knowledgeable in that and in identifying opportunities within budgets and spreadsheets. Also, I was a member of the UCF wrestling team, and I saw the financial struggles they faced and kind of how they worked through that as an RSO or as a sports club. But I've seen different perspectives on it, and with the experience as well of budgeting, I think I would do a phenomenal job here. I yield.
Richmond.
Okay, unlike Senator Levine, I do not have $1 million business or a 6-digit, whatever. But back in the day, a little about me, I was a entrepreneur. So I had Laurel's Lawn Care Services. So you know me, I'd be mowing my lawns. I would walk my lawnmower around. So I did run a little business. It was under the table, so let's not tell the IRS. But other than that, very good at spreadsheets. Stop laughing, guys. It's a true story. I was an entrepreneur back in my day. But I even talked to people from past budgets when I was elected the alternate, just because I want to learn. I want to gain the experience. I love Excel, so I'm super excited to just watch Excel magic. I love making the calculations, yada, yada, yada. So I've talked to people like Katrina. When Ryan was the chair, I was always asking Ryan questions, just trying to learn, be a sponge.
Okay. While people are giving speeches, let's be chill on the chat a little bit. Okay. Next is Lazo.
Sorry about that. Wait, and just to reiterate what Speaker Pullman said, please just try to keep the chat to a minimum. My question for you guys is, can you name let's say, can you name like 4 of the agencies that is funded by the ASF budget?
So first is Levine.
I'm not too well versed in exactly what the statutes say and all that. I do have experience. I've spoken with Brawley, who was the member at large or general student at large on there, and I talked to him very closely throughout his campaign about that because I've been looking forward to this opportunity to serve on here. Like Laurel, I am a sponge and I tend to pick up things quickly and I always aim to learn. I have a saying in my business: it's not win or lose, it's win or learn. So I take every opportunity I can to learn as much as possible. I really think, even though I'm not as versed in the bylaws and all that right now, I can be very, very quickly. I yield.
Richmond.
Yeah, so of course, thank you so much for the question. So SG, you only want 4. So SG, CAB, Volunteer UCF, and OSI. Yeah.
Next is Colazo.
Yeah, so we have the SGA Ticket Center, Student Legal Services, Student Union, and the Multicultural Student Center.
All right. Are there any more questions? Lazo.
Seeing no further questions, move to debate.
There's been a motion to move to debate. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we're now in debate. You guys have 10 minutes. Let me also clarify. It's the same. Oh, never mind. You only get, it's 1 seat. I was about to go through the whole spiel. You only get 1 vote because it's 1 seat. My bad. All right, we're now in debate. Okay, Hamid.
I'm going to be voting in favor of ELA Richmond. I nominated her for a reason because I really do believe in her ability to execute this position extremely well. I've seen her adapt from becoming a new senator into the ELA role, and she literally won an award for what she did. And so I highly believe in her abilities to, one, understand the role completely, and also if there's anything that she doesn't understand already, I'm sure she'll pick it up in like a month. Like Laurel knows how to lock in and really understand what to do. And so I highly encourage you all to vote in favor of ELA Richmond.
Lazo.
Yeah, I'm gonna be echoing the sentiments of Chair Hamid. I also believe that Laurel is a really qualified and ELA Richmond is a very qualified and just overall, as previously mentioned, sponge of learning and knowledge. They're gonna bring this perspective of being not only a student, but also so involved in SG and other ASF-funded agencies. That I really think that perspective is so needed. Because this is that money that's literally going to make them be able to function. This is the money that lets SG function and the SG Ticket Center and all those other boards that you guys beautifully answered. So thank you guys for your answers as well. I really do encourage you guys to vote for ELA Richmond. They are going to bring in necessary and just vote for ELA Richmond.
All right, is there anyone else wishing to speak in debate? Christopher Levine.
Yeah, so I'm gonna vote in favor of Senator Levine because I've seen him use spreadsheets almost his whole life, and it's kind of hard to find about a 20-year-old that has 13 years of experience with spreadsheets. And now that he is the treasurer of the same fraternity I'm in, I've seen him sit down with some of the brothers. I've seen him make spreadsheets, make budgets for themselves in order to be able to pay dues. So I think he has the best experience, and it's very easy to just turn that into student government, take his skills that he has learned so that he doesn't make as many mistakes as some of these other candidates can.
Next we'll go Gumrov.
Yeah, I'm gonna second the comments about Senator Levine. I also think that he has great experience, and while I do love the other candidates as well, I feel like we all kind of have found our place in student government, and I feel like this is where Senator Levine would shine the best. And so I will be voting in favor, and I encourage you all to do the same.
Ganesh.
So yeah, I'm gonna be echoing what Gumarov just said as well. I will be voting in favor of Senator Levine. He just seems very passionate about this role. And one thing that I'd like to note is that he usually doesn't participate as much in Senate. So it's exciting to see somebody pop out and show like enthusiasm towards something. As somebody who's like newer and like, you know, a little bit more reserved. It's exciting to see that. So I'd love to see that in action. I encourage you guys to vote for Levine.
Green.
I will be speaking in favor of ILA Richmond. I think in addition to her extensive knowledge of, or her extensive experience in student government, I think she has an incredible understanding of the bureaucracy associated with student government as well. So she has my vote.
Caringle.
Yeah, I'll be voting in favor of either Richmond or Collazo. I feel like they just have the student government background and knowledge required to be on the ASF committee. It is a little bit harder. You can still absorb things like if you were just branding everything, but I do feel more comfortable with someone that's a little bit more knowledgeable in the whole realm of student government and how the ASF committee runs.
I'm assuming Christopher Levine and Corson both just still have their hands up from an open. Okay. Is there anyone else wishing to speak in debate? Hamid?
Motion to move to voting procedures.
There's been a motion to vote. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we're now there. All right, with a vote count of 15 to 5 to 18 to 3, no one has a majority. We could redo the vote. I guess that's our only option here. Varela.
I'm not sure, but like, do we like do like a runoff with like maybe the two highest candidates? I don't know, like, because I feel like we redid the vote, like when we just vote for the same people we just voted for.
So So the way that it works is you cannot remove anybody from the ballot. If somebody wants to withdraw, they can, but we can't remove people from the ballot. The Roberts Rules reason being that theoretically, if there's two sides of it, the person who was in third or in last might be the compromise choice, right? And they kind of end up winning. So we don't remove anybody. We can go to a revote now, or you can have some more debate time and then revote. Okay, I would recommend doing at least one vote just again because seeing the results might change people's minds, and they might vote differently. And then if that doesn't result in a majority, then I would go and do some more debate before voting again.
Okay, Gumrov.
I was gonna say, I would personally feel like a little bit more comfortable if maybe we did like another 3-minute debate, before we did the next vote, if that's possible.
I guess you could.
Can I motion for another 3-minute debate?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, well, I'm gonna motion for a 3-minute debate.
All right, there's been a motion to go back and have a 3-minute debate. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we're now in debate again for 3 minutes. So everyone remember to be concise if you can. Chair Hamid.
I'm going to be debating again in favor of ELA Richmond. I'll talk about other things that I talked about last time, but I really do think that she's the best candidate out of all three of them. She was a part of Senate last year when we actually did the ANSF budget hearing, and I know that she was very involved in that meeting, so she understands the procedures, and I believe that she would be a great addition to the committee. I know that she'll advocate equally for all students and all organizations, and I believe that having someone who is non-biased, but also having experience of working in housing through SG and through the various other organizations that she's a part of, because Laurel is very, very committed to UCF and does so many things on campus that she has a connection everywhere. I really do think that she would be the best candidate for this position. So I highly encourage you all to vote for ELA Richmond for this seat.
All right. We only have a little over 2 minutes remaining in debate time, so try to be as concise as you can. Gumrov.
I'm still gonna debate in favor of Senator Levine. I just feel like we always, preach that, because I'm also a new senator and I had to find my place within committees. And I feel like if you have the passion and the commitment, which I feel like he does, he can exceed probably fare better than the rest of the candidates would. We won't know until we try. So I will personally be voting in favor still of Senator Levine.
I'm gonna do someone who I haven't heard from in a bit. We'll do Chauhan.
I will be voting in favor for Senator Levine just because I think a new and fresh person would be good, especially as a new senator myself. I think it's great to learn. And while all of them are great, I think he'd be the best.
I'll go with Lim.
So I'll be voting in favor of Senator Levine as he comes from a business background, and I'm also a business major. I also sit in that college, and I believe it would be very beneficial when it comes to the ASF committee. And I remember the first day, like, because I sit next to him, when he was like, "Oh, I wanna run for the ASF committee." I remembered how passionate he was about it. So I'll be voting in favor, and I urge you all to do the same.
I will go Varela.
Yeah, I also wanted to preface that I think all three of these candidates bring their own things to the table. I think they're all very qualified. I think every one of them will succeed in their role. With that being said, I just want to say that what Gumrov said was to me very persuasive. So I will be debating in favor of Senator Levine. I do really believe that in student government, it's important for us all to find our place, right? And I do remember that even from back, a long time ago, Senator Levine was speaking about he really wanted to be in the ASNF committee. He has a business background. And I think that with the passion he showed during his speech and what I've seen from the past, I think that I was very swayed by that. I'd be voting in favor of him, considering all the candidates are all equally adequate. I think that it is. I just really think his passion is what sets him apart. And again, I really believe that student government is a place where anyone can find their place. And I really think that this opportunity could be Senator Levine's place. So I would love to give him the opportunity.
All right. Debate time has elapsed. So I'll take a motion, Karingle. I said Karingle.
Motion to extend debate time by 3 minutes.
There has been a motion to extend debate time by 3 minutes. Are there any objections? If you object, just speak into the mic. All right, seeing no objections. Let's also just make sure we're being respectful of decorum rules if we're in the same room together. I'll go Connolly.
I will be speaking in favor of Senator Levine. I think his past and prior experience with what this committee is looking for is very beneficial. And thinking also as a new senator, I think it's a good idea and it's a great opportunity for a new senator to find their place in student government. So I think this is a good opportunity for him.
All right, I'll go with Borges.
Hey, as a current member of this committee, I would like to vote in favor of Richmond. I know that she would work extremely well with everyone who's already on it, and she has a lot of experience in the entities, which is something that me as someone as I haven't been there in a while, I'm a little lacking of. She kind of completes a lot of what the people on the committee are missing. And in addition, my biggest concern with Levine is that I'm worried he might be dismissed permanently, as he's already been dismissed once before. And I'd really hate for us to have an election again when this is really important.
All right.
Yeah, can we remain decorum, please? That was a little out of line.
I think that was okay, but everyone is free to disagree. In my opinion, that was just stating a procedural thing. All right, Karingle.
Thank you. I'll be voting in favor of Eli Richmond. Well, yeah, all three candidates do bring really great things to the table. I will say that in the EASF budget committee and being a part of that committee, there's not much that happens in terms of actual like business things and business outlooks. It's a lot of more advocacy and knowing what to do for students and working with the heads of those departments to get their voices heard and to get the voices of the students out there to basically move the money in the correct manners. So with that, with just the most experience throughout the agencies department, I'll be voting for Richmond.
All right, we have about 30 seconds remaining. I'll go with someone who hasn't given debate yet. So that would be, I don't think Green has.
I've spoken already, but if you want me to speak again, I mean, that'd be
I'm
cool.
trying to think, I think, yeah, you can go, Green.
All right, perfect. Thank you. So I will be, like I said before, I will be speaking in favor of ELA Richmond. While I do think Senator Levine has an incredible amount of experience relating to business, I think with a committee with this level of importance, I think it should go to the person with the most experience. So that is why I'm still voting for ELA Richmond.
With that, debate time has elapsed. So is there a motion? Chauhan.
Motion to move to vote, or sorry, I think my hand was up from the last thing.
Uh-oh. All right. Well, there's been a motion to vote. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we are now in voting procedures. Let's make sure we're quiet during voting procedures. All right, with a vote count of 12 to 3 to 24, Stephen Levine is elected a ANSF senator. All right, congratulations. This also goes for the other ANSF senators. I do believe that is being called towards the end of the summer to get like onboarding and things like that. But obviously you guys will be in the loop. Is there a motion to
Yeah,
go?
I have one question. Who's the alternate for ASNF?
Richmond.
Wait, what? That he took was.
Let's make sure we're speaking. Let's make sure I give you the floor before you speak. If we're in the room together. All right, is there a motion to go back to advisor's report?
So moved.
So moved.
Are there any objections? Seeing none. All right, Brody.
It's me. I'm back. Okay, yeah. So just in case, just because there was that half a question there. To be clear, yeah, Senator Levine has taken the third seat that Almanar had vacated. Richmond is still in the alternate seat. Had she been elected, we would have then had an election for the alternate seat that she had vacated. So that's how that would have worked. Okay. I already said stuff. So Senator shoutouts. Chauhan, is your hand up for a senator shout out or is it just still up? Yes. All right, Green. All right.
Sorry, I
Banesh.
left it up, but I mean, okay.
No, go for it. If you got one, go for it.
Yeah. So I left it up by mistake, but since we're here, I just wanted to say congratulations, even if you didn't make the committee seat, to everybody who ran. I know having to think of answers on the fly like that, whether you're new or if you're experienced, that takes, I imagine that can be a bit nerve-wracking. But congratulations to Senator Levine. And yeah, can't wait to see all y'all next week.
All right, Banesh.
Yeah, I was gonna shout out Speaker Pullman for appointing me to the agency and department planning board. I don't know, it felt really nice to get that message like, wow, you were really thinking of me, girl. But yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Love it. Gringo.
I'm gonna nominate, of course, CCIE. We're doing good stuff already, and we just started. CRT, of course, best committee. We're doing fantastic stuff there as well, and the advisors. Hit the main three.
All right. Richmond.
Right.
Laurel? No, you there?
Oh, I didn't hear you. I'm so sorry, Brody. Shout out Brody for me not hearing him. But huge shout out Loki. Wait, let me figure out her name first. Shout out Kachi. Wait. Let me just do the last name. Shout out Gumarov because she is so active in Gap. Like I went yesterday and I was surprised. I was like, look at Gumarov go. So shout out Gumarov. Shout out Senator Johnson. I saw she liked the UCF Dems Instagram, so have to shout her out. Shout out Jason. Shout out Senator Levine. He not only has more money than I ever will, but he also won. So 2 wins in one night. I'm looking. Shout out Lazo. Lazo's everywhere except for like sleeping. Shout out Speaker Pullman. I text her like every day. I know she's tired of me. Shout out Andrea. She sent me the Zoom to Gab. Shout out Senator Quartz or Chair Quartz. And now I'm done.
Wild. Okay. Vasquez.
Shout out Gap because we're on top. I love that everyone talks like Laurel said. Love the participation. Keep it up.
Shout out SBA because I love SBA and everyone in SBA is awesome too. Shout out Camila, Senator Jimenez Valero for now being our new LJR rep for GAP. So super excited for that. Who else? Shout out my vice chair because he's awesome. Shout out Speaker Pullman and Deezer also. That's it.
Barella.
Yeah, of course, shout out to Speaker Pullman for like having to do with all this like online Senate stuff. It's always really tough. Yeah, very like you handled it pretty well. It's really impressive. Also, shout out ORS. We don't get any shout outs ever, and we need it because we do really hard work and it's really thankless, and we should be appreciated. So shout out to everyone in ROS. That's Chair Rose, Senator Hendry, Senator Chetta, Senator Butler, Senator Johnson, and there's more people I'm forgetting, but shout out them too. They're awesome. And Borges, Senator Borges. I remember him.
All right, Courts.
Okay. Also, shout out Allison because Laurel saying that made me remember how much I text her. And guys, it's paragraphs. I yap. Also, shout out ELA Richmond. Love her forever. And also, shout out LJR because I'll always think LJR is on top. Like, they put up with me having them popcorn read the titles. Come on.
All right, Levine.
Like to shout out Senator Courts for helping me through the absence process after I blew up my car's engine. Had to miss last week's meeting. Shout out to Senator Levine, not myself, the other Senator Levine for bowling his best game of bowling. And shout out everyone for giving me the opportunity to sit on ANSF. Very excited for that, and I definitely won't disappoint. Y'all putting that trust into me.
All right. Richmond's back again.
Yeah, I may have not forgot, but I have a pea-sized brain. Shout out, shout out Chair Hamid. I missed their SBA meeting this week because I was in trial and I wasn't even the defendant. So shout out me for not getting arrested yet. Was close, but not yet. So shout out him for always being amenable to me.
All right. Love having that in the public record. Hall.
So then this.
Yeah, I was just going to shout out, obviously, Senator Levine for winning a seat tonight, as well as both Vice Chair Collazo and ELA Richmond for running. But also just, I know they shouted out Speaker Pullman, but shout out to Senator Banesh for getting appointed to the committee. That I think that Speaker Pullman clearly has a lot of confidence in you, which is great. And I think that while sometimes an underrated committee, the work that does is actually very important. So it's really exciting to see other new senators taking initiative and having the drive to want to kind of try things that they may not have known about before.
All right, Hamid.
Shout out SBA. Obviously, SBA is always on top. We're always on the grind. Shout out to the best vice chair, Andrea. She's always there, always typing so fast, and I appreciate her so greatly. Shout out to Senator Levine for winning the ANSF seat. I hope that you enjoy it as much as you can. I hope it's nice. I don't know. I'm sorry. I hope you like it. Shout out to Senator Banesh for getting the ASB seat. I'm really excited that she is getting more involved as well. Oh, Brody. Oh, it's Brody. Oh my god. Shout out to Brody's daughter. Also shout out to Brody for missing my 1-1. That made me sad. Anyway, that's it.
Yeah, that's my bad. Sorry about that. All right, Lim.
Shout out to ELA Richmond. I would love to hear more about your lawn business. If you could elaborate on that. I wonder what happened. Like, did you go on Shark Tank?
Oh, I got close. My neighbors love me. I'm back in business for the summer because I'm back in Tallahassee. But when I was moving in, my roommate, Neilani, when I was going to live with her, she was like, you're not allowed to bring the lawnmower into the room. So I sadly had to foreclose it for the school session, but we're back in business right now.
Actually made labels.
So much going on there. Okay, Green. Oh, Green says, hold on.
Okay, there we go. Yeah. Sorry, my mic was acting up. So I already congratulated Senator Levine, but I also forgot to congratulate Senator Banesh. Congratulations on your appointment, and I hope your vehicle has safely come to a complete stop.
And I wish
have,
that for
thank
all of
you.
you can come to a complete stop. All right, that's it for me.
All right. Nothing from Maddie. I don't know if Maddie's here, but is Maddie here, Brody?
I'm
Yeah, she's here.
here. Hello.
Okay.
Wait, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, I don't really have anything. You can email me if you have any concerns or questions. Stay safe because it's really hot outside. And today's the summer solstice, so it's the longest sunny day. That's why it's still somehow bright outside. Okay, bye-bye.
Are there any questions for the advisors? Okay, seeing none. Miscellaneous business. We already went through that. Okay. Danny's drip down. I don't know if you were doing it. I forget if you said you were doing it in the summer, Danny. Since you really can't see that much. Is Danny here? Yeah. Danny, are you doing drip down or? Okay. Well, moving on. Jordan's joke.
Okay. Okay. All right. Everyone's favorite time of the meeting. So parallel lines have so much in common. It's a shame they'll never meet.
This is the easiest before laughing.
All right. Well, we'll go with. Okay, Andrea, do you have your animal ready?
Yes,
No.
I'm trying to put it into the agenda because I didn't want to spoil it or anything. But this animal definitely deserves like maybe like 30 seconds of a moment of silence. Because this animal did die. Sorry, I don't know how else to like say this. Because I really wanted to make it special. I'm so sorry. No, this is I'm trying to put the picture in, but their name was Sneed. Sneed unfortunately did pass away this past weekend. No, this is not funny, you guys. This is real. This is Jason's rat. So I wanted to shout out Sneed, Jason's rat. It's not funny. Stop laughing. This is not Jordan's joke. Anyway, just we will miss you, Sneed.
Public record.
Okay.
Sneed will be missed.
Oh, great. Oh, you have more? Okay, good. I mean, no. Okay. All right. With that, do we have a motion? Courts.
Motion to adjourn meeting pending final roll call.
There's been a motion to adjourn the meeting pending final roll call. Are there any objections? Seeing none, chair courts.
Lazo.
Present.
Present. Richetta.
Present.
Sussman.
Present.
Pirelli.
Present. Present.
Christopher Levine.
Present.
Stephen Levine.
Present.
Lim.
Present.
Set. Kringle.
Present.
DeCara.
Present.
Butler.
Present.
Connolly.
Present.
Gumarov,
Present.
Mead,
Present.
Hoffman,
Present.
Larson, Memory, Metellus,
Present.
Rose,
Present.
Shannon,
Present.
Barrios,
Present.
Hall,
Present.
Jackson, Atahaj,
Present.
Chauhan,
Present.
Deeb,
Present.
Anjan, Johnson,
Present.
Tell,
Present.
Heidelberg,
Present.
Green,
Present.
Hendry,
Present.
Borges,
Here.
Alcuda, Ganesh,
Present.
Mandaloro,
Present.
Lazo,
Present.
Dukes, Jimenez Valero,
Present.
Hashimi,
Present.
Galbo,
Present.
Pullman,
Present.
Brenda,
Present.
Richmond,
Oh, present.
Shen, Barilla,
Present.
Vasquez,
Present.
Lipner.
Present.
43 out of 50, quorum is verified.
All right. Do you see that, Kirsten?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay. And with that, I adjourn this meeting at 8:34 p.m. Everyone, if you're at the office, get home safe, please. See you guys next week. And think about the caucuses you want to